He was a phenomenal superstar of his generation, recording his first hit at age 11. He went on to record hit after hit and breaking records along the way with songs like I Want You Back, I'll Be There, Billie Jean, Bad, and the biggest album of all time, Thriller. Michael Jackson was an influence across cultures and left millions of his fans heartbroken when he died in 2009. And yet, his appeal lingers on. To keep the experience alive and the story of Michael Jackson alive, we have various artists around the world who have given us the experience. And in South Africa, we have Robin Parsons, who spent 17 years studying Michael Jackson in meticulous detail. In 2003, his dream of meeting his icon paid off when he performed for Michael Jackson at his 45th birthday show in Los Angeles. Robin Parsons is appearing as the lead in Forever Michael that is currently showing at the Joburg Theatre. Robin, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on today.
Well, recently enjoyed this performance of Forever Jackson. Superb show, I must tell you.
Thank you so much, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, that you could even get, what is it? How do you do it? How do you do it? Getting the crowds to do
It's high, it is high.
It's very high, right? And oh, that was another thing.
Oh, what the whole,
yes.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, no, but fantastic show.
Thank you so much, thank you. That means a lot. We've worked incredibly hard to build this. As you said, 17 years ago is when I first started learning the dance moves and creating something to start with, a foundation to build upon. I wasn't a singer back then. I really just wanted to learn to dance. Not even to dance as Michael Jackson, just to dance. I couldn't afford to go to dance school, and I just thought about who dances well, who's a great dancer. Well, the first person that came to my head was always Michael Jackson. And he's always been, you know, the iconic things like the moonwalk immediately sticks in my mind. So I was very much important to me to just go out and pick up some videotapes. Back then it was videotapes. And just watch them and pick them up and learn the moves. And it just went from there. And, you know, 17 years later, here we are after so much creation, so much time and effort spent, building, constantly, constructively criticising, tearing apart, building it again, and just always looking to make it bigger and better and make it, as we say, the closest concert experience to that of a Michael Jackson show.
And this was happening in the UK all along, right?
Yes, this was happening in the UK. I live just outside London. This was first, obviously, got, I guess, born back at my parents' house in a little town called Brentwood. And yeah, as I said, I picked up the videotapes, used to watch them. We used to wait till my parents had gone to bed and the rest of the family, and then put the videos on, open up the patio door curtains, because then when it's dark, it acts like a mirror. So, and then just used to watch the videos and watch them in slow-mo and try and pick up the moves and things. And me being a bit of a perfectionist and things, I wanted to learn more, so I started picking up some more of the moves. So and then I'd start to learn some of the mannerisms and things, and you know the way he points and stuff, and all of those kinds of things.
So he was a perfectionist up to that point. You know what I mean? He doesn't just point randomly like many of us.
No, he doesn't just go like that. It's kind of like this, and you know the tape on the fingers. I think it's to bring attention. It's an accessory, if you like. It's to bring attention to what he's doing. You know, it's not like that. It's like that. It's not like this. It's like this, and you know, and all of this sort of thing. It's all of those things were, I think, again, being such a genius and an innovator, almost a bit ahead of his time. He was always thinking about how he could do more to, you know, create, you know, bring more levels, more depth, more light and shade to what he was doing.
And the music as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. And now the 45th birthday of Michael Jackson. He invites you to come and perform for him, or they put a show together for him?
What happened was, I was friends with the producer of the show, one of the producers of the show. We had done much work and things together. We were quite close back in the UK. And he came to me and said, look, I'm putting together a show for Michael Jackson's birthday. And do you want to come and do something? And I was like, oh, all right. Thinking this is never going to happen. There's no way I'm going to be performing for Michael Jackson. And it really wasn't until I was sat on the plane about to take off that it really dawned on me, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to actually happen. So, you know, you've got 2,000 Michael Jackson fans all just going crazy because Michael Jackson's in the building, you know.
Yes.
He's up in the box up here
Yes.
watching, and they're probably more watching him than they're watching what's going on stage because
Yes.
every time he blinks, they're going crazy. You know,
Right.
that's the Michael Jackson fans.
Yeah.
They're so adoring. They're so
Yes.
passionate about,
Yeah.
you know, what him and everything about him.
Yeah.
So it gets to my turn to be on stage, and I wasn't a very experienced or seasoned singer or performer. However, I'd lived on stage in my career as a host and a presenter and things like that. So I knew I'd be okay out there, but obviously I wasn't sure if people were going to like what I was going to do or anything. I sang a little medley of Michael Jackson songs, and yeah, the crowd were loving it. I wasn't really nervous either. I should have been nervous, you know, something like that for somebody who's not used to being on stage. The fear should have been flooding through me. But I was literally like a caged animal jumping up and down at the stage. Just let me out, let me get out there. I want to do this now. And I got out there and the crowd were just wonderful. And the thing I'll always remember, I mean, the whole thing was so surreal. If you asked me anything about the actual performance, I couldn't tell you a thing because it was just a blur. It just happened. But at the end of the performance, the one thing that will always stick with me is I went over to where Michael was, or like at least over to that side of the stage, and I looked up and I always call it the Wayne's World, we are not worthy bow. It's the whole sort of, you know, and he got up and he gave it back, and that will always clearly stay in my mind. I'll always remember I got an appreciation from Michael Jackson for what I was doing, and it was well before I was doing this. This was me singing Michael Jackson songs, but as me. So that was also an inspiration, maybe a sort of another nod in the direction towards where I am now.
Now you are the lead in the Forever Jackson show.
Yes.
You are our Michael Jackson now, and helping us keep the memory alive, right?
That's what we're trying to do, definitely.
Yeah. And you know, what is it about that to you about Michael Jackson that wanted you to reprise him and do the show that you're doing?
Well, I think he's been a huge inspiration on my career, not just in what I do now, but in the way I was performing before. Just when I used to be singing in bars and clubs and things as a singer, doing all kinds of cover songs, even in the way I performed, his work was clearly in the way, you know, had inspired me in the way I performed, the way I danced. He was the reason I started to learn to dance in the first place. I started to learn to sing because when I used to just do some stuff in general, I used to enter a few talent competitions. I got through to a final on one. The final never actually happened through technical reasons, but at the end of the semi-final, I spoke to the judges. They asked to speak to me. And I was actually impersonating Michael Jackson, but this was well before this. It was pretty rubbish makeup and costume back then. I wasn't singing back then. It was miming, just to Michael Jackson CDs. And they asked to speak to me, and they said, "Do you sing?" And I said, "No, I don't do any singing." They said, "You should. You should go and learn and sing. Even if you didn't do it as a tribute, you're a great person on stage, you've got personality, you'd be great." And that's what then inspired me to sing. So it was because I was doing something as Michael that I did start to learn to sing. And it went on and on. So Michael Jackson's inspiration and everything he does and his work in general has always inspired me and pushed me further.
Yeah, well,
and
you
to
know,
where I am today.
Well, I know you've been the lead Forever Jackson for a while, but you must give me a taste of the Michael Jackson performance, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
And before you do that, I want to compliment you because it's great hard work that I saw
Thank
on
you so
stage
much.
there.
Thank you. I appreciate
Wonder how
that.
you can do the moonwalk and all the dance moves and sing at the same time and pitch your voice and remember the Michael Jackson mannerisms and do all of that together. It takes a lot of hard work, and I must compliment you for that.
Thank you so much. It's been a labour of love. It's been, at times, immensely stressful, hugely physical, as you mentioned. I've had to really concentrate on things like my diet plan and what I eat and constant rehearsal, even today, even when I'm getting made up, which is also taken a hell of a lot of work and time and effort. This is a 3-hour process to create this.
Can imagine.
And constantly looking at, I've always said, you can never be fully satisfied. The minute that you sit there satisfied with what you've done is the minute your competition and everyone else starts creeping up on you.
Give me 1 minute of
Sure.
whatever.
Okay. Let's do.
Is it Man in the Mirror?
You like Man in the
I
Mirror?
actually
I'll
do.
try and do a little bit.
But I want you to do your own song, I suppose, the one that you feel.
Okay, no,
quite
Man
okay.
in the Mirror is
It's
a
all
great
right.
song.
Yeah.
I hear South Africa is one of the biggest ones out here. So yeah, let's do a bit of Man in the Mirror. So I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make things right. As I turn up the collar on, I feel it winter cold. This wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street, and not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind,
pretending not to see their need? All right. Now, final one from you.
Sure.
That Michael Jackson thing to each and every single one of you. Can you do that for me?
Okay, yes.
And we're
So-
ending the show.
and
So
I-
you
this
can
is how I say.
talk to my viewers.
This is how I end my show, and I've always felt it's important to make it very clear to everybody, and this is how I say it. I want to thank each and every single one of you for being here, supporting us, and allowing us to do what we love to do. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much to you two for having been with us on the show tonight. We appreciate every support you give us. And from us, good night to you. And thank you, Robin.
Thank you so much.